Alright guys, today we are playing Sid Meier's SimGolf. I think we would play in Ireland today. It would give us the most acres to start with, which should give us a lot of time to build out our course before we have to rely on any expansion. Give us a lot of room to kind of plan everything out before we have to buy additional land, and should let the course flow a little bit freer because we'll be able to plan it from the start. So let's get into it. All right. So the first thing I notice is we have this little antenna here, which our golfers are going to hate. It's going to decrease our fun rating. It's not great. So we will build away from the antenna to start with and just deal with it later. Our clubhouse is nice and central, which is good, because that'll give us room to build out our driving ranges, our putting greens, any buildings we want our golfers to use before they hit that first tee. So let's check our routing map and see how much room we have. Okay, good. That's a good amount. We have the stream coming up the southwest side, so that'll be interesting. I'm thinking we put the first tee around here. That will let us put the range, the putting green, etc. in this area. And that should help remove some of that negative impact of that antenna. Because what's going to happen is the golfers will walk past it just fine, but they won't be on course while they're next to it. So that'll be how we deal with that, at least for right now. So let's put our tee about right here. And let me swap around our view because I want to come up this direction. Maybe we'll finish. Let's make this a par 5. So we'll go 400 and make that 506. And let's look at our elevation. So this finishes at a 2. We start at a 1. That's okay. So we start at a 3. That's fine. This looks a lot steeper, I guess, because it goes from a 0 to a 2. That's fine. Okay, so let's put our fairway. Let's measure that. Seems like a lot of our starting golfers hit the ball about 180 yards off the tee, so I'll need to make sure the fairway starts in this area. So let's go here. And let's put some fairway right here, so you'll have a narrow little path to come through the trees. And let's bring this water a little bit further. Alright. And then let's make this a lot harder to get up to that set to the green area. Let's check our elevation. This is a 4. Let's actually drop these down. This one needs to be 3s in this area. That's all good. Bump this up to a 3. And let's check the distances again. So this area is going to be 284. So this is where our big hitters are going to be going. So that's fine. If they want to hit it all the way up in here, then they'll have to take on this tight little fairway. And that's good to leave a reasonable shot in for be able to go for the green in 2. Now let's check our distances here. I want to reduce this to about a 1, I'd say. Just make it so that it's not overly uphill. And I'll need to do a lot of work in this area to get all this down to a 2. Alright, so 1s and 2s, that's fine. Bump this up. Okay, so the goal of this hole will be the tee shots. The short hitters should be in here, and let's go ahead and add another 5th fairway about here for them. The idea being if they're short, it's going to be a nice wide fairway. If they're going to want to go a little bit longer, go for it in 2, they'll have to go for a narrower fairway and around a little bit of a curve, so fade will be useful there. So if you want to go for the green in 2, you're going to have to actually work for it a little bit. And let's add a longer green and make the bunkers right beside it. Alright. So again, so if you want to go for the green in 2, you're going to have to be a little bit accurate. You're going to have to play it between the rough and the gorse and the sand, which isn't going to be easy. But if you play it a 3-shot hole, you're going to hit your 3rd shot from about right in here, 160 yards. It should be a pretty straight hole to get there in 3. So pretty happy with that. Let's build out a cart path to connect it. And let me double check the elevation here. Because golfers complain if these slopes are too high, or excuse me, the difference in slope is more than 1. Just want to reduce some of this. Raise this up to a 2, this up to a 2. That's fine. Lower these down to maybe 3s. And these down to 4s. Yeah, that's fine for now. If anybody's walking over here, they can just kind of deal with it. So back to this, let's connect the pathway to the fairway, and then we'll run it up the left side of the hole. That'll let us have a bridge right here. We'll make that scenic later. And then we'll come up the left side, connect it to the green, and call it a day. And that will be our first hole. 510-yard downhill par 5. Open for play. First par 5 for a skill upgrade I can't use yet. And let's go ahead and get in the habit of hiring a groundskeeper to watch over this area. So our pro is going to stick around the first tee. So I want this groundskeeper to handle the green area. So you see the pro is going to be covering most of the first tee. There's going to be this little gap right here, which isn't great, but we'll just deal with it. Thumbs up. Alright, so you're seeing exactly what I thought would happen. They're hitting into this first area, playing it nice and safe. Let's reduce this to... Actually, that's okay. Because as you saw with that shot right there, it hit over here and bounced further into the fairway, which is okay. Still alleviate that though. Let's raise this up to a 3. Maybe reduce this to a... Probably fine. So this slope will just kick the balls over here to the left, which is okay. And now that I see that, I'm going to add a little bit of fairway right here because I expect that kick to carry it into that area. Which shouldn't be... We don't want to punish guys for getting a bad kick right in there, because they're already only hitting the ball 200-ish yards. So they're already having to play this as a 3-shot hole. And with that, let's see how the ball is reacting to these slopes. Exactly how we wanted it to. Let's see the elevation in this back. Alright, so this is fine. So the back of the screen is a little bit higher than the front and middle, which is okay. Because that'll mean any ball played long will roll back. It can be a little bit of a backstop, which is perfectly fine for a par 5, especially this opening hole. And we have a new member. I'll let this first year play out. Actually, no, let's go ahead and get a second hole. And we'll pause it as well. Because what's going to happen is at the end of the year, if you're in a negative position, which we are right now, negative 11,000, you only have, I think, 2 years to get back to a positive cash balance. So what I want to do is I want to incur all the expense in this 2001 year, so that we have a full 2 years to build up our cash reserves rather than building our second hole in 2002 and just running the balance down instead of making money. So let's build our second hole. We'll swing the year around because we're going to send it back around the clubhouse. Let's make a par 3. Make it 176 yards. Let's make this a little longer. Let's make this, I suppose we can't. Let's make this 176. This will be a large green because it's a long par 5, par 3. No hazards, no bunkers, just pure can you hit the ball 176 yards accurately. Let's check our stuff. Maybe yardages get this up to a level tee box. Just working some elevation right here just to make it a little bit easier for the golfers. Okay, and on second thought, let's reset that to rough and put a pod bunker in the back right. So there's bailouts right, but if you bail out too far, you're going to be in that bunker. There's room to go long left, long short, kind of longish right. The main question we're asking of golfers is, can you hit a 176-yard tee shot and stop it on this green? So that should reward length, maybe imagination if they have to use a high backspin shot, but we'll just see how it works out. Now let's add our hard path. There's our bridge, and we'll just run it straight to green here. Okay, that is hole number 2, a par 3. There's our putting green, so let's add that. This is exactly why I put the first tee away from the clubhouse, so that we'll have room for these upgrades as they come. And golfers will have to walk by them and use them as they're going to the first tee, rather than just ignoring them, which wouldn't be ideal. Alright, so let's unpause it. We are now 28,000 in the hole. So let's see what happens. And before I forget to mention, we are playing on moderate for this first time out. Just being on how this goes, might up the difficulty later, but right now I just want to have a little bit of fun with the game. So my target for this first hole is an average of maybe 4.8, something like that. A little bit more birdies than bogeys. Make it a nice, straightforward opening hole. So let's just go ahead and play a hole here. So I'm going to improve my power hitter and long driver skills. This is basically the same build I've had for decades at this point, almost. The idea here is I want to be able to hit the ball a long ways, a little bit of accuracy to start out with, enough accurate putter to make putts, and high backspin shot because I find that incredibly useful. And let's see if that works out. Alright, so first shot, we'll play up in this short little area here. See if we get that kick. That'll send us a little bit further around the corner. That was a pull, not great. But it'll work out in the fairway. That's just something we're going to have to deal with until we get more skill points and are able to build up the accurate driver stat. And our groundskeeper should be handling those dandelions, and it looks like he's on his way. See what's going on here yet. Alright, so maybe we need to add a little bit of more forgiveness to that hole. I'll fade this a little bit. Let's try to fade this. See if I can't get a little bit of a benefit to my fade skill. Alright, I'll be nice and put a fairway here and here. Since Tree couldn't get there. Take the elevation for that. Yeah, the board's wanting financial situation. Alright, so we end up in the tree. Let's play it, just play it out. And hit the tree. Not great. So we'll need to run it low. That's and we'll try this one more time. Just stop in the fairway and we'll be okay. What I was doing here, which is updating the elevation yet again. Now we will go for this green. And let's see what happens. Alright, finally on. 5.83, not great. Skill upgrade, so let's go ahead and just pump everything into active drive. So that's going to be huge in the early game, is just being able to hit the ball straight-ish, keep it in the fairway off the tee. Because the distance and accuracy penalty is very severe in this game. If you're in the rough or trees or gorse or whatever. So you do need to be long and straight off the tee. Especially with the way we're designing these holes. With just the one tile of fairway. Yeah, let's see what we can do here. Do I have enough distance for high backspin? Not yet. Let's see if we can't draw this. Just draw it onto the green. A little too much. That should work out. Pretty straightforward. Skip on. It's always a good sign when they hit without getting any input, because that usually means it's going to be a pretty straightforward up and down. And we got a number, which is great. Let's watch number 1 for a little bit and see what's going on with it. 2 is a 2.4. So Twyla's playing a draw around the corner. Yeah, they're getting stuck on that slope right there. Let's maybe decrease these 3 points to create a little bit of a collection area. So if anyone's hitting it short, they can hit it into this little funnel, and it'll give them a little bit more distance. And that'll help some of our early golfers a bit more. We'll see what Denton and Ivana do and see if those changes help out. Because Twyla should have been hitting from about right there instead, and would have been an easier shot for her coming up on the approach. Hopefully that elevation change will help a little bit next time she plays. Alright, perfect. So Ivana hit in the same spot, and she did get a little bit more run. Alright, so that's good. That's about an extra. I don't know why I can't measure this. So it's about an extra 20-ish yards, accounting for that. A little bit of inaccuracy on my part, so I'll get her a little bit closer, make the second shot a lot easier. So it was just unnecessarily difficult. I think we're going to go ahead and build a third hole. I'm going to check this routing map real quick. I think number 3 needs to come up along the clubhouse right here. Then when we unlock this land, then we can start building across. I'm going to go ahead and build a third hole, so we should be able to have a tournament, which should give us some quick money. So let's make this a 261 yarder, and let's tuck it in the trees right here. That fairway here, here. Here and here. Let's switch around the view. And pause this real quick so that time doesn't advance while I'm building this hole. Let's do this. Maybe we put it here. I think we keep it there and we put a pot bunker short. Maybe here. And we're going to try to reward imaginative golfers here. Just going to make this 3 wide. It's going to be pretty straightforward. Very easy hole, actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start at 0, so we do need to reduce this, unfortunately. I'm going to build up the slope on the outside of the dog leg so that ideally the shot I'm envisioning is a draw-ish shot, maybe a straight shot. It comes down here, hits the slope, and curves around onto the green. So it's going to be a bit of a risk-reward situation. Let's knock this down to maybe a 3 at most. A 2 here. 2s, up to 3s. Let's keep these at 3s. And I'm going to keep this outside edge at a 4, and also put this point at a 4, this point as a 4, so that these are all going to be 3s right here. And so this forms a little bit of a collection area where, or not a collection area, but just a natural curve where the shots come up here, hit this slope, hit these 4s, and just naturally curve towards the hole. I don't think this pop bunker is going to do a whole lot, actually. So here's what I think we're going to do instead. I'm going to put the green here, make it a little bit longer, and put this right here. And that should be okay. Actually, I need to get away with that. So do it that way, add a little bit of length to the hole. I don't think going straight over the trees is going to be an option. Let's do that anyway, though. Let's add a bit of fairway here. So if you want to go straight for it, let's see if that works. That Firaxis plinth is in the way. I think that might be a bit too free. So maybe if someone wants to take a correct route, they can try it going through those trees right there. But you are going to have to hit the ball over the trees 223 yards. And let's add a here just to reinforce that fact. So you can take a direct route right here, or you can go around straight up this way and swing it around. That's for make sure our elevation is good. It is. That's okay. Drop these to 3s and 6. I want to force that out a little bit longer, just so we have that. I don't want to get rid of those pots of gold. Is that gonna work? No. Okay, so let's just make this make fairway right. I mean, that's just I don't want this to be 261 yards, but I'm not sure I can get away with that. I want this to be more like 290-ish, 300 yards, not just an incredibly short par 4 like this. But we can try it and see what happens. And maybe we'll get lucky. Let's just build out our path. We'll run it up the outside. And swing it to the green right there. I'll go to the left. And we can build a pub. That's good. Our left hole. So let's add a smack to our irons and then power hitters so we're hitting the ball farther each time. See what the SGA says. 48,000 first prize. We're at 34K in the hole, so that's great. I don't really care about Ivana that much right now, so let's. So we actually have a map, which is going to be good. And it'll let us burn some time while Ivana's still on the course. So let's fade. Let's draw this a little bit right here. Lane versus Jumbo Jet Pro. That was a hook, not a draw. see what hole number 2 is doing at 3.11. That's fine. 5.42, little. Well, it's a little higher than I want, but there are 2 8s. There's that. That doesn't bother me too much. Do I have a location for a pub? How much does it cost? 15. I feel like it's a bit too expensive right now. Let's just play this right here. And I want to hire another groundskeeper who can cover this whole inlet status. Just a misclick. Okay, so we're on the fairway. We can't reach. So let's use the high backspin shot and just stop in this collection area right here. Alright, I want our soda vendor to be between 2 and 3. Alright, so we'll be hitting our 4th shot. Not quite enough to get the high backspin shot, so I had to go with the standard. Just perfectly fine because I put it in the rough, and so that's my own fault for not being in position to tee. But that is going to be in a great position for what should be a pretty straightforward. Should be a pretty straightforward par. I am not keen on that luck getting too high because my understanding is luck. The higher the luck stat goes, the greater variance essentially comes in. So that's both good and bad luck can happen when that stack is a little bit too high. So I don't really. I personally never upgrade it, and I don't really like when I get the upgrades for something like that. Alright, good to see that we're continually adding members. I don't know where Jumbo Jet was going there. I believe that means we have a house site that we can add here. Yes, we do, but I do not want to sell that just yet. It should be a quick 6,000, about 8,000 bucks from this match. So 2,000 per hole, 2,000 per match. Easy par. And 2,000 in the bank. Now we can just about get there, so let's use the high backspin shot. Drifting long, short and right. Alright, so it's on the fairway. And Jumbo Jet is in the... should have been in the water, but is in the rough instead. Alright, our bounce is working down to 15,000. I think we're going to need to get that tournament in here soon to get us back to positive cash balance, but we'll do that once this round is over. Alright. Another hole one, and Jumbo Jet just gave us 200 bucks for a soda. We're all going to work here. let's go for the green, just see if this actually works or not. So just view here so it'll be a little bit easier to see. And it hit the tree. So that did not work. Let's reset that to rough. That's exactly how I wanted this hole to be played. Get a little bit further up here and use that slope. Just about right here. Alright, in the fairway. That is fine. You'll see once we got our third hole, the money started coming in. Let me see if I can see the financial report. So now we're going to draw it around. We had that. Yeah, we can just go straight over, I think. Realistically, we might hit that tree. Yep. Alright, so that's not good. I'm going to need to change the view for this to see exactly where I'm going. I'm just going to run it out here. A good example of why. Yeah, we have one more year to get rid of the dead. Oh. So I don't like this is only 251 because the danger is pretty severe. I'm going to play this up off these slopes. Because it wouldn't let me select a draw shot. And it just ran through them. Not ideal. So this debt should go away once the tournament's done. It's pretty nice. Alright. Now it's. We might actually win this match because of all this. My first loss in a while. Yeah, to hold this out. Yep, lost 2,000. Alright, so let's go ahead and get a tournament going here. Don't want to do. Yeah, whole, that's definitely a par 4, not a par 3. So let's add one each to draw and fade. And one more to accurate draw. That gives the ability to both fall a little bit and hit some of these fairways, which we've been struggling with so far. So that, take that draw, hopefully hitting those slopes. Come around perfect, hit that slope, hop on up. Middle of the fairway. Next shot should put us in this area, and it'll be on the green in 3 going for it. What was he complaining about? I hit in the water, that's fine. Switch camera so we can see what's going around that lawn a little bit easier. So if we can't put a fade to about right there. That'll work. The reason I'm using those draw and fade shots a little bit more than I might have to is because sometimes you'll get free skill upgrades if you use a skill, and the like if you use a fade and it ends up in the fairway or on the green, you'll just sometimes get a random skill bump. So that's what I'm trying to use. occasionally when I don't explicitly have it. In this case, let's just go straight at it. See if we can't get a birdie out of this. And naturally, it's a straight shot that messed us. The Iron Hands Hacker is already at +4, and Lucky Stiff Hacker's at +1, so even par should be maybe even winning. Usually, even's okay. It'll let you win some of these early tournaments. I'll just see what everyone does here. Alright, the par 3. Can't quite make that. Big draw on. Straight's going to be risky, so let's use this draw shot to put ourselves about right there. Alright, starting out nice and wide. That's an okay miss. Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather be there than in the rough right here, so we'll take that. I would have rather had that, but I think that's just too risky to try to cut through the rough. We just need more power so we can get that high backspin shot all the way to the green. And that should open up a lot more possibilities down the road. That's why this is a tough hole. It's just a long par 3 that it's going to be hard to make birdie on. Just make this par. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes if something good happens with a skill, it'll just randomly get an improvement like that accurate putter. On this hole, I think I'm just going to play it straight because I don't want to get too high up the leaderboard. So I'm just going to hit dead straight. And hopefully it's not going to give me a random hook out of nowhere. That's looking pretty good. Alright, and again, once we get our power up a little bit more, we can take advantage of these slopes on the outside of the dogleg. That should set us up for it. Well, we might need to curve the ball around there. That's kind of tough to see if we're going to get past that tree or not. I think we should be fine. The direct line takes us just the outside of that tile, so that should be okay. But it is time to see. Okay, we're pretty almost certain to be in the money here because, yep, no tree. His juice pros at +2. I don't see us making double bogey on this hole, and FF Hooker's under the tree, so he's probably going to make a par at best. So if we can get a birdie here, we'll be at least tied first. And that wasn't good. Just make this bird real quick. Alright, that is a birdie, tied first. FF Hooker bogeys goes back to even, and we have won ourselves some money. That'll get us back to positive up here. The board will get off my back, and that should give us a nice kickstart for our next set of holes. So let's see if we can. fix this elevation issue right here. Yeah, that's just better. Better than it did. There we go. Alright, so let's get out of here. 56,000, we are plus 42 to the good, and I think that's where we'll wrap it up. 3 holes in. Pretty happy with the performance of the course so far. Not thrilled with the skill ratings of this hole. It's not great, but stroke average is rough. Maybe it's just a little too boring. Hole number 2, right at the 3.00 stroke average, which is great. And hole number 1, 5.13, which is fine, and the skill rating, accuracy, that makes a lot of sense. Length, that makes sense as well. Imagination's okay. Hopefully that'll go up over time, but our skill rating's okay. We have a nice match coming up here. Next time our fun rating's getting up there, so I think we're in a good spot to wrap it up. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next one.